Hello everyone, we will be focusing our attention on the topic of Ayurvedic conscious eating. Before we begin, if you haven't already, please get a food item from your kitchen pantry, ideally a piece of fruit like grape, raisin, apricot, a nut, something similar to this. You can pause the video and we will resume once you have your item of food. Great. Now that you have something, just hold on to that in a small bowl and we will be needing that just later at the end of the video. Let's begin with a quick question. How many of you have ever finished a meal and thought, wait, did I even taste that? Did I really savor the flavors? Or how satisfied am I really actually feeling? Do I feel nourished? Am I even hungry? Or am I full or overstuffed? Today, we're diving into a delightful exploration of mindful eating through the lens of Ayurveda. We want to uncover the secrets of conscious eating based on the Ayurvedic principles. So let's embark on this journey together. So, eating out of habit, eating mindlessly, overeating, it happens to the best of us, and there is an endless list of eating habits and patterns that don't serve us or our digestive system for that matter. How, when, and where we eat is just as important as what we eat. In fact, for me, more so. And this really, for me, is the missing link. Today, we're going to explore the elements of conscious eating in a practical way, but in a way that you have that light bulb moment of, oh my gosh, of course, things can be so obvious sometimes. What do we even mean by conscious eating? Well, it's more than just chewing your food 32 times, although that too is important. Ayurveda, the ancient system of medicine, considers digestion as not just a physical process, but a holistic one involving mind, body, and spirit. We are moving away from the concept of consuming foods and more towards the act of nourishing our whole self. It's about being present and fully engaged with the act of eating. Now, why does conscious eating even matter? Well, ever feel that post-lunch slump or experience indigestion, gas, bloating, or feel hungry again within the hour after eating? Conscious eating can help. By being mindful of what and how we eat, we can improve the digestion, boost energy, and maintain overall well-being. When should we practice conscious eating? Simple. At every single meal. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, being present during our meals enhances the overall dining experience. Now let's get into the how. Here are my simple and very practical guidelines to embrace more consciousness at meal times. Think of it like a mini vacation for your digestive system. We want to eat in a calm environment. This means no TV dinners, no meals at your workstations, not standing up or while you're walking, and definitely not on the train, absolutely not. We want to eat in a calm, relaxed environment without distractions, and yes, that also means our phones too. Now come on, who is putting their hands up to one or more of these habits right now? It's nice to sit comfortably at a dining table or even seated on the floor cross-legged, as this back and forth movement as we eat actually allows our body to register the feeling of fullness in the digestive system. We really want to take time, sit down, focus on the food, make time to eat your food. Don't be in a rush or feel something that you have to try and squeeze into your day. We really want to give your meal the airtime that it really deserves. It's the one activity that you do in your life that sustains our physical body. So I'd say that deserves the attention, wouldn't you? Let's avoid eating while scrolling through those beautiful dog and baby videos on our phones Or worse still, let's avoid looking through our work emails. One way to become super present and engaged with your meals is using affirmations or mantras at the start of your meal. It can really help us to connect with our meal with gratitude. Now, let's add a sprinkle of positivity to our meals with some affirmations and mantras. You can recite something simple in your mind or out aloud, however you wish. For example, I am grateful for this nourishing meal that fuels my body and mind. With every bite, I am nourishing my body and soul. Feel free to create your own personalized affirmations as well. Every culture at some point had a tradition of grace. This is such a valuable lesson, and in Vedic philosophy we can even use very, very specific mealtime mantras. We want to engage all of our sensory organs. What does the food look like? Is your plate full of color and vibrancy? Second, what does the food smell like before you put it in your mouth? Often, our digestive experience starts way before the food even enters the mouth. The signals are going crazy between the brain and the stomach. When we eat with our hands, we can softly start to gauge the temperature and the textures of food. What does that food taste like? And finally, even our ears are involved in the food. Slurpy, crunchy, this brings another layer of sensory awareness to the process of eating. Eat only when you feel hungry. I know this sounds strange, but do you ever check in with yourself and ask if you are even feeling hungry, or do you simply eat out of routine and habit? Our body will only digest well if your stomach acids indicate that there is an actual hunger. This hunger means that you're ready to digest your nice, healthy meal and your digestion will be at its optimal level. We also want to make sure that we eat at a sensible pace and chew our food well. How often have you wolfed down that meal? Or have you been with friends that take forever to complete their meals because they are more occupied with talking than eating? A sensible pace of eating supports a healthy digestion. Regularity is key. Try to eat at regular intervals. Our digestion really likes routine, so we need to find what works best for us and work with that. As the seasons transitions, our patterns are likely to change, but we don't want to be having irregular eating patterns on a daily basis, where we skip meals sometimes, overeat at other times, and or eat at totally different times throughout the week. We want to ensure that we eat until our stomach is about a half or about 2/3 full. We need to allow for a little space, moisture that comes from a little water, and we need to leave about a quarter space for the digestion to actually take place. Now, imagine if you packed your washing machine so full that there was not enough space for the water and detergent to move through the clothes and clean them. Well, this is the same situation in our digestive system. We need to allow that space for the churning to happen. Opt for warm cooked foods. These are pre-digested and your gut is more familiar in how to process this. This is especially true in the colder months. We want to avoid armor-producing foods. These are foods that quickly turn to toxins. Yes, these are those usual suspects, and you know what they are. They are those junk foods, those fried foods, those excess processed carbs. You kind of get the gist here. We want to avoid snacking between meals. Just like when you work out your muscles in your movement practices, you wouldn't do it all day long. What would happen? Yes, that's right. Your muscles would get tired over time and they would start to weaken. Well, this is exactly what happens to your digestive fire if we constantly graze or have lots of mini meals. we expect the digestion to work constantly, and it starts to weaken just like our muscles would. And this can cause a build-up of ama or toxins. Conscious eating means including all 6 tastes. These are the sweet, salty, sour, pungent, bitter, and astringent. And we will explore these in details in the next Ayurveda class next month. Okay, so now let's do a guided conscious eating exercise. I want you to grab those items, or item actually, of food that you found at the beginning of this video. And then just close your eyes and sit in a comfortable position, taking a deep, long, slow breath in. And let's indulge in a mindful eating experience. I want you to just grab the food item that you started with at the beginning of this class. With your eyes open, just hold it in your hand. Just hold it in your hand. We're just looking at it. Just looking at the shape, the color, the texture, the size. We're just observing visually this item of food. What do you see? What emotion does it invoke? What do you think this will taste like if you had never seen it before? So come to it with a freshness, like you've never seen this item of food. Have you ever observed this item of food in this much detail before? Just give yourself a moment to really sit with that. Now, what you can do is bring the item of food to your nose and just smell it. Really get into the smell. What does it smell of? Just take a moment to smell it. Does it smell like it looked? Now take your item of food and place it into your mouth, but do not bite. Just let it roll around in your mouth and tongue. Just observe the sensation, the texture. Do you feel a taste coming from the item in a whole form? Just really observe the sensation of that food item in your mouth and on your tongue. Okay, so now just on one side of your mouth, just crunch down and take one bite. And let's do the same again. Just observe the sensations of that first bite. How is your mouth responding to this? Has your mouth started to salivate? Are you feeling a different flavor coming through? Is your mouth feeling dry? What do you taste? Just take a moment to observe, like you are eating this item for the first time. I want you to really savor this sensation. Keep observing the texture, the temperature, the taste. Now, slowly continue to chew the item and notice the flavors starting to dance on your taste buds. Be fully present and quiet in this process that is taking place. Just observe. Use the sound now to notice the crunch or the slurp or the juices that are being released through that salivation. Take time at the end once you've completed your mouthful, to really notice how you are feeling. Is that taste still lingering? Is your brain and your digestion and your mind engaged in wanting another bite or another item? What is that feeling? So next time you have your meal, you can start to slowly apply this process. I mean, it doesn't have to be as slowly as we did in this exercise, but you can just start to bring in that awareness of the food in a much more conscious way, slowing down, being more present, observing the texture, the colors, the flavors, the smells, and the taste. Congratulations, you've just had a class on Ayurvedic Eating Principles 101, and no matter where you are and at every meal, you can start to bring this awareness in and watch how it changes your experience of meals, not to mention the benefits on your gut. Now remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. So let's bring a little more awareness to our dining tables and enjoy the benefits of mindful eating. Happy conscious eating.